Okay, good morning once again. I am here with you to discuss the second part of our class in HTM 103, which is Guestology. So you have seen here, the term Guestology, which involves the terms integration, service theme, service standards, cast setting, and process, which involves a cycle. So in your course outline, my dear students, we are already done with the first PowerPoint presentation, and our second presentation will be on histology. So I have here with you a case study. So Arlene and Rochelle dined at a restaurant in Iloilo, which is very famous because of its excellent local food and incomparable hospitality. Finding the restaurant was an easy thing to do as it is very near a popular mall and is in proximity to other areas like hotels, market, and other shopping centers. As they approached the restaurant, they were immediately welcomed and greeted with warm smiles from the staff. After asking how many they are in the group, Cheryl, the food attendant, pulled out each chair and made sure that everyone was comfortably seated. Okay, so in the case study that I am going to share with you, I want you to get the plot, the end result of the case study, so that we will have a discussion right during our consultation schedule. Right after she gave the menu to each of the member of the group and gladly mentioned their specialties of the day, as Arlene and Rochelle together with the other members of the group are already hungry, they immediately ordered food, and in no less than 15 minutes, the food was delivered impeccably. So, pas-pas ang serbisyo. Cheryl rushed over, making sure that the food was served hot and was served respectively to the specific members of the group. The group was really amused with the sumptuous food that was served to them, from the steamed rice to the very delectable pork and beans dish that was served to them from the region, the specialty of Iloilo. As another set of food was delivered to the table, Cheryl became puzzled. There was so much space on the table where the dish should be placed, and it seemed that the party was really enjoying their dining experience, so Cheryl was hesitant to disturb. So what she did was to grab the rice platter and offered it to the person in the group whose appetite was very good. So she emptied the platter to him or her, and the person was really elated, as this is not a usual thing for a food attendant to do. Still, she thought of the idea so that she can now place the next dish on the table. So it means perform of initiative si Cheryl, no, so that she can find a way ahan niya mabutang ang additional nga dishes. Ended up very much delighted at the food and the service that Cheryl and her colleagues provided them. Arlene and Rochelle, now very much grateful, shared their experience to their friends and relatives, reminding them to always make a stop in this restaurant whenever they are in the region. Truly, Iloilo at its best hospitality. I have never been to Iloilo, but I want to go there someday because of their nice and sumptuous delicacies. No? So what I have shared with you sa case study. So in here, you can see three women doing the word of mouth, which is a very cheap but very effective advertisement form, no, or a promotion. So in here, nag-share sila sa ilang mga friends, colleagues, and relatives, no, or family members. If ever makalaag sila dito, they need to stop to that certain restaurant. Lesson from the case study that I have shared. So number one, service executed immaculately is different from hospitality. The service and hospitality, they are two terms, they are both different. Okay, the service providers today are focusing on making things right rather than making people feel great. That is what we should not forget. We need to make sure that the customers will feel great than doing the right things. Say, for example, if you are the waiter or the waitress, you followed all the protocols, the procedures, but then you're not smiling, you're not showing your best to your guests, so mabantayan na sa mga customers, no? So they will also kumbaga mura ba og komentan ka. Yes, she's doing the things right, she's serving us, pero wala siya tingog-tingog all the time. Wala siya ask how I feel about my travel, how I get to the restaurant, no? Kung lami ba ang pagkaon. So those are the things that we should consider. Service is the sequence of acts, tasks, and procedures which are done with consistency. It is the mechanics, the logistics, and the how-tos of any process. While hospitality, the term hospitality is the positive emotional response elicited from our guests. No? So whenever you are working in an establishment or a hotel or restaurant, always make it sure you smile, you show that your guests belong. No? Dili kinagserbisyo lang mo nagserbisyo, but then you are not showing them hospitality. Mo na purpose sa ato ang kurso, hospitality management. Wala tagaingon dito, yes, part ang service, but then service is just the mechanics, no? Logistics, procedure. Pero dili gyud na siya mao ang hospitality. Okay. In here, you can see an image of service versus hospitality. Service, what you do to someone, meaning the act, versus hospitality, how you make someone feel. Unsa imuhang gi-share sa ilaha nga ni smile sila, nakatagan kag tip nila, nagbalik-balik sila, no? Because of the service compared with, combined rather with hospitality. Okay, so in here, service is a skill, while hospitality is the spirit. Service is what we do for our guests, while hospitality is what we do with them. Service is about delivering the needs and wants of our guests, while hospitality is about anticipating the needs and wants of our guests, express and unexpressed, meaning ang service, igo lang ka mag-provide kung unsay gusto nila, but in hospitality is when you provide, you also do initiative, meaning you know already unsay lahang need, no, lang one. We forget good service, we remember hospitality. Okay guys, service, you can do that all the time, we train you all the time, but then hospitality is different, meaning hospitality is your character. Are you really passionate about being hospitable? Or are you doing hospitality because you just want to do service? No? So this is the reason that the end user of such process is called a guest. Because we are honored, they come to us, they come with us. Dili kay, ay, nagserbisyo ko ninyo, so you give me uh, the benefits that I deserve, which is not good. Because without the guest, no, wala tayo sweldo, wala amoy sweldo in your future job. So always be hospitable, because when you're hospitable, magbalik-balik ang guest. So meaning, always ang sweldo, always ang money, always ang tip. Okay? Okay. So in here, you can show here the hospitality provider giving good service. At the same time, they are very hospitable, no? So they are complimenting the guests, no? At the same time, they're also showing the amenities, no, and what the hospitality, the establishment, no, can offer to the guest. So what is Histology? We're now going into the part where we're going to dig into the term. So Guestology, it is from Dixon 2010, defined Guestology as a scientific study of the behaviors, needs, and expectations of people in a service environment and how to use that knowledge to optimally manage a service organization. The concept that Bruce Laval, the father of Histology, introduced has now become a science that deals with understanding the guest. When we say Histology, it's the science that understands the guest. So, never ever take for granted, no, ang ato ang expertise, ang atong field, because it is actually, we are now under the science of understanding the guest, or Histology. So Guestology entails studying the totality of the guest experience from their expectations down to results and feedback. So client 2014 mentioned in her study that Guestology involves knowing the guest or clients and their needs and wants, perceptions, and expectations. So Bruce Laval is actually a director in a Disney studio. So the first image that I am going to show you, we have here the procedure for understanding our guests. We have integration, Guestology, quality standards, and delivery system. For integration, putting it all together. Delivery systems, we have the cast setting and process. Quality standards, igniting innovation through technology and service. No? So we need the help of innovation so that we can keep up with the trends, no, in servicing our guests. And then for Histology, the needs, wants, emotions, and perceptions of our guests. Customer expectation. For customer satisfaction and customer service to be achieved, a complete and proper understanding of customer expectations is very important. So when we say customer expectation, you need to understand that our customer is the most important, no, people in the industry. They are actually the bloodline of the tourism industry, and they are the ones providing our salary, our wages, no, and all the benefits. So we need to understand them when it comes to their expectations. A guest will dine in a restaurant for the first time will have a different expectation than a guest who has been in the restaurant for a couple of times. So companies should make it a practice to always inquire from their customers whether they have met their expectations and put all of this data into their internal research. So if you have noticed, there are some restaurants and hotels in which they would ask you to fill out, a feedback form or survey form, to which there are some questions there. If they have met, your expectations, and what can you recommend so that by next time they can improve their services. So that is the practice that should be taken into action by establishments and famous hospitality providers, around the world. It is important that we note of their likes, dislikes, needs, wants, and profile, as this would be the baseline of our entire operations. Always take into consideration, the recommendation of the guest, because they are the ones, providing intel or insight of how one business should prosper. Okay, so in here you can see a customer satisfaction survey. Sorry about that. Okay, so I have manipulated, a while ago lang, the thumbnail in which you can see me so that I can properly uh, share with you my idea about the discussion. So in here, in the slide that I am showing you, you can see here a customer satisfaction survey by McDonald's. So you need to always wow the guest, meaning there's a wow measure or level of wow to the service that you are going to provide. In here, you have here a Likert scale, a 5-point Likert scale, in which states here, how satisfied are you? No, so you're going to rate your satisfaction with McDonald's. So this is just an example, but this is how usually the feedback form looks like. Okay, our next slide. So food attendants or waiters should literally wait for their guests when dining in a restaurant. Anticipating guest needs is one of the primary responsibilities of a waiter, and that he or she should be good at it. So we really need to put or give attention to our guests. No? Not only that, we need to anticipate all their wants and needs. No? Say for example, wala sila water silang table, and of course, needed din nila ang water. So kinahanglan initiative na to mag-serve sila ng water. No need for them to ask for it. Okay? That is what we need to think, always. So it requires full attention so that whenever a guest needs something, he or she could immediately handle the concern and attend to the guest request. Always be alert and vigilant and open-minded when it comes to serving your guests, because there are so many types of guests that we are going to discuss also, no, later on. Do not over-exaggerate your services, as it could also ruin the guest experiences. Like say, for example, nagkaon siya, but then you're always asking, you're always talking, mawala ang vibe, no, sa guest. So therefore, never over-exaggerate things. Always keep it simple, and also keep in mind always to just stop in when needed, no? Depending on the service desired, most of our guests have general similarities when it comes to their expectations. Their usual expectations would be that the establishment be clean, that is number one. The staff be courteous, responsive, reliable, and friendly. Ayaw nila ng kanibatan gitawag nato og nagduka-duka, kaning gitawag nato og nitwit, meaning nagpanahinay sa iyahang actions, iyahang pagserbisyo, no, dili kayo ganahan ang guest ana. Nagyo sila ma-comment. You, for example, if you were going to put yourselves in the shoes of the guest, ikaw ang guest, if you have noticed, dili ito ganahan of one, if ang ato ang mga hospitality providers are not being warm, not being friendly, not being kanang enthusiastic ba, meaning happy, it's not a really good sight, no? Okay, so IKEA's et al. 2012 noted that even in luxury hotels, there are still basic problems that are actually unresolved. And with social media around, guests have easy access to flaunt these problems, which sets a springboard for other problems. It's very easy for the millennials nowadays to just post, no, everything in the social media platforms. Like, for example, pangit imong sinerbisyuhan, they will get a picture of you or the establishment, and then it can ruin, no, the image or the reputation of the establishment, all because nagtanga-tanga ka or wala ka seryoso sa imong trabaho, or you do not love your work. So always remember that in this time, in this era, we are now using technology, and most of the time, all of the negativities are posted online. Okay? Some of the problems cited here, I will share with you. Rooms, there are small size rooms to rooms with no modern technology, but when it comes to services, you need to always upgrade. Okay, arrogant or clueless staff being rude and no answers questions posed, or they choose not to answer the guest because I do not know, maybe that is why, no, kung giingon, if you do not love the field, you will not really would love to do service to people. And then failure to respond, staff's failure to respond to guest complaints, no, instead nga mo kuan siya, mo show siya og solutions, or ma-share siya solutions, ang naitabo is maghilom na lang siya, maybe dili siya ganan rebuttal sa guest in a positive way, ang iyahan hilak na lang, no? So that is not a really good behavior for a hospitality provider. And then poor delivery, so late service or wrong room service, a long process for check-ins or outs. I will share with you during our consultation my experience at the time when I have my on-the-job training in Malaysia before. So it's really a good training that I have kaning gitawag na to ba og keep, no, during my older years na, because in that moment I was amazed of how beautiful, no, the industry is. I will share with you that, no, during our consultation. And then cleanliness, so criticisms on soil linen, carpet stains, and hair trapped in bathtubs, or maybe hugaw nga CR, or maybe more ginamitan nga mga towels. We are all very familiar with that. No, makatry sad mo ana when you become you yourselves as hospitality providers. You have amenities and utilities, lack or inadequacy of toiletries and items in maybe bar, or maybe wala gid ka upgrade ang establishment. And then billing, so guests grumbling about having to charge extra for parking, internet, gym, and the like. They really hate that, no? Hate ka na sa mga guests na mag-add pa. So for example, nag-use of internet, mag-add pa sila payment. The establishment should always keep in mind to always innovate, always update their services, because if they are living in the 21st century and their amenities or facilities are all 1900s, Dili gyud na siya mulungtad. Okay? Because we are now in the technology era. So customers, guests, or clients, you're all the same in terms of the definition. The Corporate Finance Institute 2015 has identified the basic types of customers that hospitality and tourism enterprise should be aware of. So in this part, I am going to share with you the types of customers that should be taken into a prior look. No? You need to train yourselves to always keep this in mind, the types of customers that we have in the hospitality sector. There are loyal customers, impulse customers, discount customers, need-based, and the wandering customers. The first one is a loyal customer. So the most important segment to please and should be one of the priorities in mind of a specific company kasi nga they're all loyal. This type of customers represents no more than 20% of the customer base that actually drives majority of the sales revenues. They are more likely to be the bearers of the positive word of mouth about a specific company or establishment or product and likely to recommend the company's service product. So they must be given heavy emphasis during company's decision-making process because they are the ones providing financial pool in the sector because magbalik-balik sila, maybe naganahan sila sa services or how hospitable a certain person is. That is why they are considered loyal. Okay. The next one is the impulse customer. So are the best type to do suggestive selling. They're also second to loyal customers when it comes to attractiveness in the market. These customers do not have a shopping list in mind and do shopping instinctively. These kind of customers are receptive to recommendations on products. So say for example, you already like shopping, you are very impulse, no? Bisag dili nimo need, you go and buy ahead. Now nga na sa pandemic na season, you have noticed also nga nagyapon mga online shopping stores. So that is why buhi gihapon ang industry, even though pandemic is because of these types of customers. No? They're very impulsive and they do not have a shopping list or anything that will concern them. Basta makabay lang sila, makapalit lang. Okay? Next is discount customers. So they affect a company's inventory turnover. So they are contributory to company's cash flow because the products which are seldom purchased at full price are actually availed by these customers as best markdowns. So ang ganahan na ng mga customers katong naka-less, cheaper price na sa isa ka specific company. So meaning instead of having a breakdown or a break-even point in a certain company, kani nga mga customers ang motabang is because of the kanang itong markdown sa mga prices, no? So sila ang tigpalit. They really love discounts, no? Daghan kay taani because we Filipinos really love cheaper prices. And then the need-based customers, this type is driven by specific need only. So they buy for a specific reason and occasion. And because of this, it may be difficult to convince them to upsell. It's because nasa list. Compared sa impulse na ito ng mga buyers, ang kaning need-based, meaning palit lang sila when they need it. So these customers are adept in avoiding any attempt for upselling and that they will immediately leave after they are done getting what they need. Also, they are drawn to businesses or products which are cheaper and has an alternative that can serve its purpose. So if a company can prove that the service that it delivers could pose as a need for this segment along with proper positive personal interactions, it is expected that this segment will be loyal in the long run. It's because they do not pose a bang bad impressions is a company because they buy when you need it only. So meaning if need nila ang specific product, that's the time when they buy. So dili sila impulsive when it comes to their choice of buying a product. So we have here the wandering customers also. So these customers generate the largest amount of traffic as they have no specific need or desire in mind, but yield the smallest percentage in sales revenue because they only do window shopping. And if they see that the prices are not met, silang expectations na price, expected na price rather, they will not buy the product. So they enjoy social interaction while shopping. They only talk and talk with mga kachikas. After that, they spend a lot of time trying to please the segment and draw away to other segments because they're not going to buy the product. They're just looking at it, and then after that, ibalik nila sa butanganan. The segment still provides insightful information about the products and can therefore contribute to the feedback mechanism of the company because as we all know, these wondering customers always check no if the product is good for them or not, even though dili sila kayo at as in mo palit no, but then they can always give insight no about what should be sold specific company no. And then we have here quality and value. So those are the types of the customers that we are going to talk about during our consultation. Once again, always be reminded about that. Oh, we have the loyal, impulse customers. We have discounts, need-based, and the wandering customers. For quality and value, value in relation to quality would entail the study of cost. To measure the value derived from a guest experience, we need to match if the costs incurred total or equal to the quality of the experience. For example, a guest will be reserving for a spa session and will be allotting time and paying for the service. This reservation of time, effort, and money should equal the quality of the service provided, so as to say that the transaction has high value because compensated ang iyahang services. No? You give service, tapos nagbayad siya ato. So there should be a high value to it. So in here, you can see here an equation to value, which is equals to quality all over cost. So value can be increased by increasing quality while maintaining the cost, or by reducing cost while maintaining quality. Never ever yun na disregard ang quality. No? Value and cost can be manipulated, but the quality should always be high. No? So it means there should be a direct proportion between value and quality. No? While maintaining the cost. Even though magpagamay mo sa cost, there should be still a high quality and high value no? Given to the customers. Okay? So the customer and the definition of value. So the THI, the tourism and hospitality industry, is a guest-centered or customer-centered industry. It is not us, no, as the center of the industry, the customer. So it is the customer who defines value. It's not us, no. Di namin na kita na provided service kita mo magbuhat o certain measure sa value, no. The guest, or the customer should provide the value. So the guest quote is to see is to believe, and whenever they see something that they do not like, that means it will cause problem to the value being stated by a certain company. So always remember, ang customer is the center of everything when it comes to the hospitality sector or the tourism industry. So without the customers, we do not have this certain type of industry. Okay. So that will be the end of my discussion on the second presentation, which is about histology. And I hope that all of you have gotten an idea about how important the customers are and what does the customer need when it comes to ang sector. And I hope it will give you an insight of how beautiful the industry is, because you choose this course and you need to love this course, starting today. So I'll be seeing you on our next presentation and on our consultation schedule. Have a great day, everyone, and stay safe.